All right, guys. So we are going to be attacking this review guide, study guide, basically, making sure we know what we're doing. If we forget anything, just go back to this video and remember y minus y over x minus x. That's our first step. I'm going to choose 2 points that are both positive instead of attacking the one that's negative. I'm going to go 8 minus 10 over 2 minus 3, and I'm going to get negative 2 over negative 1, which we know 2 negatives equals a positive. Then from there, I'm going to take a coordinate, whatever coordinate I want to fit in here. If I use 310, if I put 3 here and 10 here, 3 times 2 is 6 and equals 10. How do I get 10 to be equal 10? 10 equals 6, so in order to get 10 equal 10, I'm going to add 4. So my finished equation would be plus 4. All right? All right, the next one, I know you guys know how to do this, but real quick, if you forgot, we're going to open up the calculator. We're going to type all of this side here. So when I say type this all in, we're just typing this chunk in here. So when we plug in the x value, we know right away once this is plugged in, if it equals the y on this side, then we're good to go. So how do I do that? I do 1 divided by 2, slide it over, times x. Now what's x here? 3. So times it by 3, and then minus 4. All right? Now at this point, I get 2.5, and that's not what we want. So guess what? A is not our answer. Let's try B. I just take x, I deleted it, and I'm going to put in negative 2. All right, and then I get negative 5, and that is what we want. B is an answer. Again, the next one, I'm going to type in 2. I get negative 3. That's what we want right there. That's perfect. And then you got to make sure the other one doesn't work either. I'm going to type in negative 1, and it doesn't work. So I'm going to cross that out. All right? You're going to do the same thing for this one. This one's a little more confusing. So when you type that in, I'm going to do that one as well. Negative x. So negative whatever that x is going to be. So it might get a little confusing, and then it's plus 8. So really, I'm going to type in negative 1, because isn't there really, could I write it this way too? Negative 1x plus 8. Isn't that another way of writing it? So I'm going to write it that way, times, so negative 1 times something, times x. And if I plug in, what is this going to be? Negative 6. I type it in, I get 14. So that's not my answer. That told me it was 2. I'm going to delete. Now I'm going to type in 7 for that one. And what do I get? I get 1, and that's what we're looking for. That 1 right there. It's the same thing we're going to do. So we plug all this in, and we get what our y is going to be. So B is an answer. This might have the same answer as B, C. Let's see. Yep. So B and C both work, and I bet D won't. Let's see the pattern. Yep, D doesn't work. All right. For number 4, some people kept struggling with number 4. Let me move this aside. Number 4, basically you're trying out every one of these points to see if they check out, if they work in the actual equation. If they all work in this equation, then the answer is true. Then that table is true. Okay. Make sure you try this one on your own, but you're just going to type them all in to see if they all work. Number 5 is a little confusing. Does this represent a linear function? Explain your reasoning. Well, this is a linear equation written in this form, which is called slope-intercept form. And if we were to graph this, negative 3, I would put a point there for negative 3, and then I would go down 6 over 1, and I would draw this line. Now, is this straight line a function? Yes. Now I put because it's a straight line when graphed. I would write that because it's a straight line when graphed. And you're explaining it at that point. It's a linear function. A linear function. We'll call it a linear equation, but it's also a linear function. Number 6, does the x repeat? Then that's not a function. All right, does the x repeat? Not a function. This one, just try to be tricky. Negative 3 and 3 are not the same number. 7 and negative 7 are not the same number. And then look at this last one. The x's repeat, not a function. All right, backside. I love the backside. And if we're struggling with the backside, let me get this calculator off the screen. All right, the backside is a little tricky. But if we look at the back side, we have to find coordinates in this graph. So if I look at the first one, I know that's a point and that's a point. So it's plus 0, so it's proportional. And we're going up 1, 2, 3 over 1. It's 3x. So your answer, y equals 3x. All right, number 2. This is a point, and keep following along, and this is a point. It's plus 1, because that's my y-intercept. I'm going down 1, down 2, down 3, over 1, over 2, over 3, over 4, over 5. Down 3 over 5, x. Number 2. Number 3. -4 is my y-intercept. Don't forget there's an x in the problem, and let's figure out what's going to be. This one's a little trickier because it's going off the graph. That's not a point. The other point we have here is right here. So if we start from left to right, like we read a book, down 1, down 2, that's negative, over 1, over 2, over 3. Down 2 over 3. All right, number 4 is super tricky. It only goes through y at +4. So that's what the answer is, y +4. If it went through like x at +4 and it was like this, that's what that one would be. Okay. All right, number 5. That's a point, and that's a point. Y equals +5. There's an x in my equation. Now let's figure it out. Up 1, up 2, over 1 over 2. 2 over 2, oh, wait a minute, there's a point there, and a point there, and a point there, and a point there. So is it up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1? Do you see my stairwell? So up 1 over 1 could be 1 over x. It could be 2 over 2. It could be 5 over 5. All of those equal 1 whole. All right, number 6. Point here. And point here. Y equals +0. I'm going to put my x. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1 over 2. All right. Number 7. Point here. +5. And then this is, where's the next point? Right here. So there's obviously an x always in the equation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. 7 over 2. Number 8, go ahead and do on your own, and I'm going to check your work on number 8 tomorrow. All right, guys. Hopefully this helped you. I know I went kind of fast. Push pause throughout the video if it helps.